Welcome back to the channel. We're the Bet Boost Brothers. I'm Willie D.
And I'm Big Mike.
Today we're going to dive into our Super Bowl special part one. The biggest day in sports betting is right around the corner, so let's dive into it, Mike.
Yeah, I'm excited. They say, what are they projecting? About 2 billion to be bet just in the U.S. alone on the Super Bowl. So it won't, not too much will be
Sheesh.
coming from us, but hopefully a little bit of action out of our pockets coming that way. But it's crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah, 2 billion, that's wild. You know, I wonder if they count bonus bets in that, Mike.
Probably not. Probably not. Today we're going to get into what we have planned in terms of our boost board, going over the promos we like, the promos we've got locked in, and the promos we're still looking at and trying to decide what we're going to do with. And then kind of set us up for our video on Sunday morning where we really dive deep into our picks, what comes up between now and then. But I'm really excited for what we got on the board today. I'm really excited for the opportunities that are out there. Hopefully, we can make a little bit of money. But let's dive right into it.
All right, let's do it. All right. Welcome to our Super Bowl boost board. Pretty
Yeah,
fancy, right, Mike?
yeah, we're always making updates, always making changes, trying to really hone our artistic abilities. We've come a long way from just what did we share in our first video? I think it was just a screen share of us looking at spreadsheets. So
Yeah.
starting to make baby
Hopefully we
steps.
continue to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks good. Just to get you all acquainted, if you can't see already, you've got the bonus bets on this side,
That's
and then
right.
over here you've got your bet boosts. So the way we're planning on doing this is walking through the different promotions we've come across, whether they're bonus bet opportunities, straight up bonus bets, or something along the lines that will boost your odds and get you in a higher return on your bet. So that'll be on this side. Um, if you're good with it, Mike, I think we should go ahead and start with our bonus bets.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hop right in.
All right. So you will also see that each side is kind of broken down between what we have locked in and what we're on the fence about. So the ones we have locked in, it is what it sounds like. We find this too good of an opportunity to pass up. We've already jumped on it. And the on the fence, these are the ones that we're kind of stacking up. They're mostly going to be our bet boost, but we're going to stack them up. And then in our Super Bowl part two video that we do Sunday morning, once we have a full picture of all of the boosts on the market, that's when we'll officially show you all what we're locking in and what we're not and why. So does that sound good?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. We're going to cover all of the boosts that we're looking at that are on the table that we're interested in now. Not really get too in the weeds of like our own picks. We'll talk about the ones we like the most that we're definitely going to get involved with, and the ones that we're on the fence about. But we'll get more in depth in terms of like what picks we like in the next video, and maybe a little bit at the end too.
So, yeah. We might have a pick or two at the end. But let's dive right into this, Mike.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, on our bonus bets, we'll do this one first because we saw it and we jumped on it. It's not Super Bowl specific, but there's no way we don't use this on the Super Bowl. So starting with ESPN Bet. If you go to the promotion section and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see this. It says track your big game bets on ESPN. Essentially, all it wants you to do is link your ESPN.com account to this betting app, and you get a $10 bonus bet. It was super simple. Do you have the same experience, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I actually saw it in my email. So I was getting on my email as as one does from time to time, and I happened to notice ESPN was in my like promotions or ads or whatever section, and I clicked on it, and it was the big fancy title, free money or bonus money or something, and all it needed you to do is link your accounts. I don't know if you have to have a ESPN Plus account or if you just having a regular account counts, but
No, you see, I don't have ESPN Plus, and it
okay.
worked for me. So all you have to do is link your. I don't know why, but I guess there's some benefit for them. But we did it, and we got a $10 bonus bet, and that's actually the bet that we're going to go over with you all. We've already locked it in. We'll go over with you all at the end of the video, so stick around for that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, so definitely get involved with that free $10 bonus bet. The next one,
Heck yeah.
kind of along the same lines, another $10 bonus bet, but this one you have to fork over a little bit of your own money. But that's the DraftKings Bet and Get, and I think we talked about this one briefly in the last video, so we won't go too in depth. But it's pretty much just what you hear. You have to bet $10 um, on a anytime touchdown scorer. I think it would also count if any touchdown props, so if it's first or last or whatever. But this obviously the safest
Yeah.
one is anytime touchdown scorer, $10. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's an odds limit. But because
Nope. You can go Saquon.
yeah, because
No
you
spoilers, but you can go Saquon.
can go Saquon Barkley, and then it immediately, it doesn't wait for the bet to conclude. It'll immediately give you $10 that you can bet.
Yeah, so that's a great one. So we've already done this. If you follow suit, you'll have two $10 bonus bets going into Super Bowl and also a $10 bet on an anytime touchdown score, but plenty of good options there. So this is a great way to go ahead and get involved with a little risk on the table right out the gate.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think that's a good one. And again, we covered it in our last video, but good one to get involved in.
For sure. All right, next. So those last two, Mike, they're in the locked in section, right? We got those up. Those are for sure. Another one that we've got locked in is the May the Best Manning win. So this is on FanDuel. We also talked about it in our last video, but win a share of 10 million in bonus bets. And I know we see this kind of stuff all the time, all over anywhere, marketing, win this, win that, and you're like, no way they're actually giving out this much. But in my experiences, they do give a pretty sizable bonus bet if you get this right. Anywhere $20 to $30. So it's definitely worth doing this. You've essentially got a 50-50 chance. I went with Eli. We said that in the last video, Mike. I know you're going with Eli as well. No risk here. Locking this one in for sure, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah, for sure. Whenever there's a situation to play for free and it's, not overly complicated or time consuming, we're definitely going to get involved. I think this
For
is maybe
sure.
2 clicks.
Yeah, it was pretty easy.
Sweet. Well, then, those are the 3 bonus bets that we've got locked in. Let's talk about 3 that we're still considering.
Yeah, let's do it.
The first one we want to talk about is the FanDuel first last touchdown promo. So this one, you get a bonus bet for if you're, a share of the bonus bet. So same general concept as the Eli pick. However, there's a lot more options. So obviously, I think if you go for more of a long shot and they score the first or last touchdown, you'll get a bigger share because there's less people that they're splitting the jackpot between. So if you go Barkley or Hurts, obviously good choices. More people will pick those that are more likely to get the first touchdown or the last touchdown. You'll get a slightly smaller pot because you're cutting it amongst more people. But I think it's still definitely a good one to be involved with. It's a relatively low floor. I don't have it pulled up right in front of me, but I don't think you have to bet $10. I think you can bet as little
No, I
as
think you can just do. It's $1. It might even be less than $1. So you really don't have. I think it might be $1. It might even be like 9 cents or something weird like that when I was reading the terms and conditions. So you really don't have to do much. You could do like, let's call it $1. If you want to do $1 on Saquon to score first and $1 on Saquon to do score last, that's probably, if I end up getting involved, what I'll do. Of course, that's dependent on me having money in my FanDuel account at the time. I always cash out when I win, and they require a $10 minimum deposit, I think. So if I've got $2 sitting around, I think I'll do this one. But for now, it's on the fence.
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, I was trying to pull it up right here in front of me. But that's all right. Well, the basic premise is you want to bet on a player to score a touchdown, and if it's the first or last touchdown, you get a share of the bonus. So it's one we're definitely considering getting involved with. because it's potentially a nice little stack of money.
For sure.
Do you want to talk about
All
this next
right.
one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is just, we're trying to show them all. This one's not anything crazy. As you can tell, it's not part of our locked in section, but it's it's something to consider. So this one's on the Underdog app, one of those daily fantasy apps where you can do the over unders. Essentially, they've got a $5 no sweat bet, which, in our world, you see these are a dime a dozen, but we'll bring it up anyway because it is Super Bowl specific. And say you wanted to get crazy with the prop bets and bet on, five or six things to happen in the prop world, player prop wise, you could do it on here. And if it misses, you get it back in a bonus bet. So it's an option depending on your betting style.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, honestly, I think I still need to sign up for Underdog. So I might look into that promo and see what other sign up bonuses they have over there. But,
Oh, let me know, Mike. I'll give you my referral code.
I might have to hit you up on that. I might have to hit you up on that. Um,
No, they do free squares too, which we'll bring up in later videos. Won't sidetrack us too much.
yeah, yeah, because we don't want to get people confused about the squares, especially as we jump into this next one, which is the
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Caesars.
Not this kind of square.
Yeah. So if you guys are, have done kind of Super Bowl squares before or familiar with the terminology or the statistics, um, the Caesars are is offering a Caesars Squares $10. Basically, it's a bonus bet. You bet $10 on the squares specifically, and then they'll give you $10 of bonus to also place on it. Now, I'll be honest, I've never gotten involved with the like a Super Bowl squares through a betting app before. I'm vaguely familiar with how it works at like a Super Bowl party, where everybody has a number, and essentially you want your number to match up with the last digit at the end of any given quarter, and if it does, you get to you get a cut of the pie. In most parties, you would probably win. Like everybody puts in $5, and you would win so much each quarter based on if it ended in a 7 and you have 7, you win. So I'm assuming it moves it works something similar. Everybody's throwing it in, it'll give you a number, and if the quarter ends with your number, you get a share of whatever is put in. That's how I assume it works. But so it's
Yeah.
basically, it's a little bit different type than like sports gambling. I would say it's probably slightly more similar to what you might get on like a casino app, or playing roulette, or the lottery, for lack of a better term. You're basically, it's completely random. There's some numbers in football that you'd rather have, like 7 or 0 or 3 maybe, or 1. You probably don't want 8 or 9, but you can still win with those, but just 4 maybe, although you could get 14. So I'm sure there's better numbers than others, but it's very random. No way to really
Yeah.
project it.
Yeah. There's no chance I'm getting in on this one. It's against our strategy. But it is something. There's no shame in going in on it. You essentially get to pick two squares here. You get 10, and then you get a free 10 to put on another square. So it could make the game more fun if you're not really cheering for anybody and you're just hoping to get lucky. It's an interesting bet, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, and in Caesars typical fashion, that they'll give you a little bit, but they won't make it easy to win money off them for sure. You gotta,
Yeah, that's a Caesar special right there.
yeah, for sure. All right, well, so that'll wrap up kind of where we're at with our bonus bets, at least for right now. So we've got 6, 3 locked in, 3 were on the fence, considering them or not, and then now we'll shift over to our bet boost section.
Sweet, let's do it. So that's over here, right? I'm getting used to it. Getting
Yeah.
used to the mirrored camera. But yeah, over here. So I'll go ahead and kick us off with one that we have locked in so far. We did touch on it in our last video, but I think it's worth bringing back to the forefront. So this one's on Prize Picks, another one of those daily fantasy apps. So there's 3 that we have in our repertoire: Prize Picks, Underdog, and Chalkboard. We recently got on, so I don't know how long we'll keep that one. We'll talk about it in a later video. But anyway, this one's on Prize Picks, and it's a Patrick Mahomes over a half of a passing yard free pick, gimme pick. whatever you want to call it. So all of these apps, they require you to make two selections on the over under of any kind of player prop, and then you can lock it in based on the odds. So this one gives you pretty good odds for a gimme pick. So then you just have to pick one other thing. We can talk about what we end up going with and all that maybe later or in our next video. But regardless of what you go with, whether it's an anytime touchdown score, somebody's yards, somebody's passing touchdowns, whatever direction you go, you'll want to match it with this free pick and boost those odds as much as possible. So this is essentially a super boost to whatever player prop you like the best. And we're rolling with it, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to lock into this one. And just like you said, that's the easiest way to think about it for those of us that typically bet. You know, I don't dive too much into the daily fantasy style betting just because I don't like the way it kind of limits your ability to be flexible with your picks. But with situations like this, you're just boosting an over-under, or you might be able to go slightly adjust the over-under in a direction, but you can boost a minus bet, like for example, a Saquon touchdown to maybe getting close to plus money, or you could, bet a 50-50 prop that's maybe plus 100 or plus 150 to plus 200 or plus 250, depending on how it factors in there. So it's a pretty nice little boost. You could put it into some sort of crazy combination. That's what they want you to do. But we're probably going to play it safe, but definitely lock it in.
For sure.
All
right, next. You got this one, Mike?
Yeah, I can dive into this next one. So this next one is a FanDuel super boost. So it's offering you a super boost to one of two choices. You can pick a KC centric boost, or you can pick a Philadelphia centric boost. So the Philadelphia one, you got Philly to win money line and Barkley over 100 rushing yards. The Kansas City one, you've got Mahomes 225 passing yards and Kansas City money line. So just based on the fact that Kansas City's the favored team, you're gonna get, even with the boost, you're gonna get slightly worse odds, I think, for that pick than the Saquon. I don't have it right in front of me again. I believe it was boosting the KC side of it, which, spoiler alert, is the side we're leaning a little bit more towards, to around plus 200. So I think it was somewhere in the realm of like in the 140s or like around 150, and it was boosting it to about 200, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was a little over 200, like
Okay.
210 or 220.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know if you hinted at the direction we're leaning towards this, but both of them have about the same odds. So,
Yeah, you're right.
pick whichever team you like better. Not just the money line of Kansas City, which, I do tend to think that they'll win the game. I also think 225 for Mahomes is a I don't know. To me, it feels like a slightly safer option than 100 for Barkley, even though that dude is a machine. 100 yards is a lot in the Super Bowl, and if they go down, maybe they're running it less.
Yeah, you're right. And I was wrong. Kansas City is plus 145 for that option, which you can boost to 218, or for Saquon it's plus 140. So they're essentially the same. So you boost that to 210. So they're very similar, but actually the Philadelphia side is slightly favored, very slightly favored.
Yeah, which I mean, a lot of sites I'm seeing just money line have the Eagles at even odds. I know they've got Kansas City. I'm seeing them around like minus 120, but then I'm seeing Philly a lot at just even, just says even.
Yeah, I mean,
plus 100, minus 100.
Vegas thinks it's going to be a close game. Kansas City beat the Eagles a couple years ago, but we've been talking a lot about Saquon. I was looking back at just a little insider on me. I do like a little prop sheet game for some of the people at work, and I was using the template from a couple years ago, and it was like, who's going to have more rushing yards, Pacheco or Miles Sanders? And it's like, well, now they got Saquon, so you can't even include that prop. I think I changed it to Saquon or the entire Kansas City team. So it's a different situation this year for sure. And I think Philadelphia's got a well-rounded squad. It's going to be a close game, but KC's got Mahomes.
Yeah, they got Mahomes, and reigning, defending Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And they got, Taylor Swift, all that shit. So they'll have the fans on their side, or maybe they won't. But
Yeah, love them
all
or
right.
hate
Well,
them.
let's roll right along. So the next one we have on the screen, 50% same game parlay profit boost. This is from Fanatics, max $10 bet. And this is a plus 300 odds requirement. So certainly something we talked about in our last video, something we're going to consider. It's going to stay in the back pocket until our next video when we've got the full landscape for us to pick out the best value from. Very well could use it, very well could not. We still got Bet365. We'll see what they pull out of the woodwork. But this is a bet to keep on the radar. And if you know you're going to put a lot of action in on this weekend, then you might as well use all of these boosts. But for us, we're going to try to limit our risk as best as possible and just pick and choose the best options. And this may or may not fall as one of them.
Yeah, I mean it's always tough with the when you get into these really high number plus 300 plus 400, but if you are going to do something that's a long shot, and you're boosting plus 400 to plus 600, that can be a nice little profit.
For sure.
And kind of just to build right off that, speaking of live boosts or Fanatics boost anyway, they also are offering a 25% live profit boost. So that obviously is one you have to make once the game has started. I know Will talked I think briefly earlier about one of his potential strategies with live betting, but that's always one that you want to make a plan for ahead of time. I'll say when it comes to especially for the Super Bowl when you may be consuming some beverages, you don't want to be a few drinks in, get to halftime, and your bets are losing, and you start chasing or betting recklessly, which you're obviously going to be more prone to do if you're not fully present. So it's good to have it planned and stick to it. And okay, if this happens, I like this boost. Or if I'm up, I'll make this boost on this bet if the odds are in my favor. Or if Kansas City's in a close game or tied, I know I'm going to pick them or the Eagles or vice versa. So you don't have to completely have it exactly written out, but kind of have a plan for, okay, break glass in case of emergency. This is the live bet option I want to go in ahead of time so that you're not trying to figure it out, 3 or 4 drinks in or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. And I think something that helps with that is however you are going to allocate your funds for this game, try to allocate the bulk of them for something that will stay alive throughout the whole game. So, don't put the bulk of what you're betting on the first touchdown score. Because then you're going to be more prone, like Mike said, to want to go chase. And that's not what this is about. But just wanted to throw that out there. But with the 25% live profit boost, what I'm thinking is the bulk of my strategy going into this is going to be using these promotions and boosts and bonus bets to leverage a better position on a touchdown score, Barkley, and I'll just go cat's out of the bag. I like Saquon to score. I know a lot of people do. It's not rocket science. I'm not claiming to reinvent the wheel here, but I do like Barkley to score. So I've currently leveraged some of these picks we've talked about, some of these bonuses to get. So far, I think I have $40 risk on the table on Barkley to score, but the overall odds when you combine it all to return, I'm looking at around plus 115. So I really like those odds for him to score, and that could happen at any time in the game, right? Of course, barring an injury. So my strategy is, okay, if he scores in the first half, I might go after a boost like this, something else for the second half, keep my interest alive. I will have some other bets, like the one we're going to go over at the end of the video. So I'm not all in on Barkley, but I am heaviest on Barkley. And that's the type of bet that could hit in the first quarter or in overtime. So
yeah, and I think that's well said. So as tempting as those first quarter, over under, halftime money lines, those issues, or a player to score a touchdown in both halves, things like that can die really quickly, and then you have a whole second half of the game that you're not involved in. So that we typically try to avoid those unless they give us a huge super boost.
yeah, completely agree.
This next bet.
All right. Well,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I was just gonna
No,
say,
all right, yeah, sure.
this next bet is it's right on the, it follows the same as our last two. It's this one's from Caesars. It's a plus 400 minimum odds. They seem to be posting a different one daily, so you actually have to place that bet that day. It expires. So this was a 50% daily same game parlay profit boost, plus 400, three legs. Um, Similar to what we talked about with the Fanatics one. I've noticed it changes every day. I think today was 30% on a touchdown score, but same thing, or maybe it was a parlay, but today was definitely 30%. So it's different every day. So I'm hoping the closer we get to the Super Bowl, the better they get, but it seems like they're just the
Mhm.
percentages are jumping around rather than the like stipulations for the legs of the, because it again, it's Caesars
Yeah.
and they like their plus 400 requirements.
Yeah, we haven't been jumping on any of these yet, but we are keeping an eye on them. Keep checking them daily because we might not be posting on a day where the best one comes out, so there might be something that is worth jumping on that we're not going to be able to give you forewarning for. So certainly worth adding to our board, but certainly going to be on the fence side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up, going back to DraftKings, they always come with the interesting ones. Plenty of promos over there. This one was today, so I don't know if you all have time to get it or not. By today, I mean February 4th. But this is Super Bowl happy hour. So they've been doing a lot of these as well. They're not quite labeling it as daily, but they had a happy hour yesterday as well. So I think they're going to be doing these daily. Um, and this one is A.J. Brown and Xavier Worthy, each to record 50 plus receiving yards, boosted to plus 200. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I do like Worthy. The only thing I don't love about it, Mike, is the odds. I'd like both those things to happen. I would love to see that at like plus 300 or something.
Yeah, I was just building it actually really quickly on my phone on Bet365 just to kind of compare what the odds would look like.
Yeah.
It comes up to plus 120 as like the standard bet, so it's about a 70% boost, or I don't know what the exact odds, but it's a little
It's
bit
a
of a
good
boost.
boost. I mean, I like Brown for it, and you'll see our bet at the end. We like Worthy for something similar to that as well. So not advising against it. It doesn't have the odds to necessarily draw me in, especially when I know that there's going to be more risk for me on the table as we get closer to game day. I'm
Hmm.
afraid of putting too much out early on something that I don't necessarily love.
Yeah, I agree, but
So on the
it's an
fence here
option
for
that's out
me.
there. Yeah.
Mhm. For sure. All right. Well, now you can see we got our bonus bets. We got our bet boosts. You can see what we're already locked into. You can see what we're on the fence about. Um, I can only imagine how many more promotions are yet to come, Mike. I mean, between now and Super Bowl Sunday, probably the bulk of them on Super Bowl Sunday, which is why we're going to do our part two video on that day. But I'm sure more and more will pop up between then too. I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting somewhere between, I don't know, maybe close to 10 bets going into that game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's definitely a possibility. We've got we've got a lot of action on the table. We've got a lot of free action on the table as well. So things to keep us involved and
Yeah.
interested with very little risk or no risk at all.
Hmm.
So that's definitely a bonus. So, hopefully we can go in there only spending a relatively moderate amount for us, and still
Hmm.
have even more potential profit out there to be made. But yeah, we haven't talked much about Bet365. They kind of take things day by day. They don't do a lot of forecast long term future boosts. So I expect stuff
Yeah.
from that site, a super boost and some sort of start of the day same game parlay boost or something like that. I'm hoping it's not a no sweat bet,
Yeah.
but it could be. Um,
Yeah.
so
I'm
I'm
thinking it
excited.
might be a no sweat and a super boost, but
Yeah,
hopefully it'll be better than that.
yeah, I'm hoping it's a same game parlay. Like parlay boost 30% or 50%, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and
um
and just to qualify what I said, so I think I might have close to 10 bets, but like I just said, four or five of them are the same bet, just placed on different sites so I can get the best the best bang for my buck. If I've got a $5 maximum over here to get it boosted to this, or I've got a gimme pick over here to get it boosted to that. So that's what I mean. I'm doing some of the same bets just on different promotions, and I really think that's the best way to do it because, like I just said, you get the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I think that there's a lot of different ways to approach it, and we'll definitely dive into the weeds. I know we're coming up on almost 30 minutes now, so we won't hold you too much longer, but we'll dive into the weeds of
Yeah.
what we like and what we're picking in the next video. But briefly, before we do let you go, we'll show you one pick that we've already got locked and loaded and ready to go. So let's jump on
All
over
right,
to it.
let's do it. All righty. Time for us to share with you one of our bonus bets. This is the one that we went ahead and locked in on ESPN Bet. We showed you the promotion towards the beginning of the video. So diving right into it, Mike, we've got three legs here, and we are targeting plus 300 odds. There's no requirements or anything. Our logic here is trying to get some return. I mean, it's the Super Bowl. Might as well take a little bit of risk here, right, Mike?
Yeah, yeah. Just as a refresher for those of you guys that may not remember, this is our $10 bonus bet that we got from linking our ESPN account to our ESPN bet account.
Hmm. No, exactly. And honestly, we weren't necessarily targeting plus 300. That's kind of just the way it came out. And we thought, hey, roughly $30 return for a bonus bet. That's pretty good. And it doesn't really contradict. It's not a hedge. It's not contradicting our current strategy or my current strategy. So I really like it. But not to beat around the bush. First leg we've got here is Kansas City money line. We talked about it earlier in the video. It could go either way, but you know, if I had to bet, I'm gonna go with the reigning defending Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a smart way to look at it. So yeah, we've got Kansas City money line. We talked a little bit about Worthy earlier, but we got Worthy here at over 45.5 points. This is a bet that's been on a positive trend.
Well,
Will,
it's,
I know
it's
you've got
actually
the
yeah, it's
numbers.
45 plus. Sorry to
45
interrupt.
plus. Yeah. What did I say?
That'll get us there. 45 will get us there. You said
Yeah.
over 45 and a
Oh,
half.
over 45 and a half. Oh,
Said,
45 or plus. Perfect. Even better. That half. You never know where you need half
yep.
a yard.
Seems to happen to us a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that that's been a positive trend. Well, I think you might have the numbers in front of you in terms of, I think you said he got
Yeah,
it.
I got
Yeah.
him in here because we looked at it earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's hit that number in 8 of his last 9 games. So certainly trending well. Obviously, Kelsey's been not the same go-to target for Mahomes as we've seen in the past. The beauty with this bet is he can still be going heavy to Kelsey in this game, and 45 is still attainable for Worthy. The one game he didn't get it out of those 9, he got to 41, so it was close. Um, I don't know. I think it's a good play. I'm happy to ride with it. For similar odds here, you could also go with Kelsey, over 50. But I don't know. Just based on watching these games, I think Worthy's a little bit more of his I don't want to say go-to target, but he's definitely one of his favorite targets.
And also Worthy has the explosive play potential. Like he could get this in
Hmm.
one catch. He could have 2 catches and get 80 yards. Kelsey at this stage of his
Hmm.
career, certainly he could have a 50-yard catch, but he might need 6 catches to get 50 plus yards. So
Which
it
could happen.
it could
But
definitely happen. But we're going with Worthy.
yep. And then the last leg here. Oh, you all might hate this at home, but I feel good about it. We're going under 56 and a half points. Now, I know it's no fun to bet the under on the Super Bowl, but we're doing it with the bonus bet. And I mean, the official over-unders at what, 48 and a half. So
Mm-hmm.
we're buying over a touchdown here, 8 points over the over-under. And I don't know, I think they typically price that over-under just a little bit higher on Super Bowl Sunday because they know that more often than not, people are going to want to bet the over there. We're not going to fall for that trap, are we, Mike?
No, no. We've got 2 really strong defenses. Everybody talks about the offensive players. The casuals talk about Kelsey. They'll talk about Saquon. but we know that these are two elite defenses with really strong in the trenches. Both teams have elite defensive lines. Both are extremely well coached. Two veteran defensive coordinators, and with the running
Mm-hmm.
game and the Chiefs aren't the explosive offense that they used to be. They're grinding it out. They're
Mm-hmm.
playing the clock down. Eagles, if they have a positive
Sure
game
are.
script, which we're hoping they don't, they'll run a lot. So we're gonna go with the under here.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, there it is. There you have it. Our three leg plus 310 bonus bet on ESPN Plus. Feel free to trail or at least get involved with the bonus bet.
Yeah, yeah. And thank you guys for sticking with us through this video. We're really excited for the Super Bowl. We're really excited with everything we got put together. If you are enjoying the content that we like, let us know. Or if you guys have any ideas or suggestions, let us know that as well. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys Sunday morning for our final preparation, our final locked in bets for Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Super excited. See
Yep.
y'all on Sunday.
See you guys.